hopefully it is running.
That is not even close to stream.
Blob.
It's a blob, guys. That's what it is. Typing. I guess it wasn't so bad. I hit a W instead of an E, which they're right next to each other. It's forgivable.
But is it forgettable?
What's forgettable?
Never mind.
No, you see, I was making a joke. Right. If it is live, it hasn't shown up
it's
on
supposed
my
to have
list.
a 2-minute delay, so
2 minutes? Jesus, you know.
that's the regulations.
Oh, I didn't know there were rules. Okay.
I didn't know there were rules. Oh my.
I didn't know there were rules that were like that specific about like you have to have this stream delay and everything.
I told you I was asking more how long the stream delay was.
I thought that was something that they just I didn't know it had an exact amount. I thought it was just like minute, 20 seconds,
whatever you feel like.
Yeah. Whatever you have it set at, it's probably okay. Just as long as there is a delay.
1 second delay.
Don't want nerds cheating is all.
1 second delay will solve all our nerd problems.
Dude, can you imagine trying to watch a stream from your opponent's point of view while playing, though, with a 1 second delay? Like, I mean, all of the noises would overlap with each other super hard.
I mean, you get a 1 second delay anyway with the, like... It's not like it's perfectly instant.
That'd be the most echoey thing I've ever heard. It's just like a stalker shoots, and you hear us shoot again, but like while the second one is shooting, your first one fires again. So we are live. Should we do introductions and everything then?
Yes, we've been live.
Okay, well... Hi guys, my name is Lego.
I'm Xenodactyl.
Clearly we're professionals.
Oh yes, oh yes.
They don't come any better than us.
Well, why don't you start off our introductions?
Alright. The map is Stasis. It's one of the new ladder maps. I have not seen very many games on it, but we have spawning in the top left the green Terran. It is host Hotfi. Yeah. Anyways, and his opponent spawning in the top right, playing the best race in the world. It is AlpX Kaino.
Kaino.
I don't actually. Yeah. Okay. Kaino. I'm super good with names, guys. Don't worry. Yeah, so we are going to have a PVT. Terran going for a gas first into barracks. That's probably going to signal factory play, am I right? Or is it just for the Reaper?
It can be a faster factory, yes. It just means, like, the option of more aggression. Because
SCV2 hits from dying to the probe there.
It's like, extra gas can go extra places.
Early double gas for Protoss here.
That actually could be indicative of, like, that's more likely to be indicative of something, I would say.
Yeah, Cybercore goes down. He is mining a lot of gas. What is he going for? Stargate?
It could also be double robo.
You have to have two. Oh, okay, yeah, that all right.
But I don't think so, because
Very
his probe is going
interesting.
home. So we're at double robo. The pylon would have been dropped on the way out
Yeah.
somewhere.
Right, it looks like he's going to take a Nexus over here. I'm expecting Stargate. That's what I'm thinking.
That's very likely. On a map like Stasis, where the air distance is so short, and as he's dropping that Nexus, there's...
I still am a little confused about his choice of build order if he is going for the Stargate, because look how much gas he has. He almost has 300 gas. You only need 150 to throw it out the gate. So, and it is Stargate, okay. Terran looks very standard, honestly. Fast factory, second command center is going up. Like, looks very typical to me. Reaper's coming across the map, grabs that watchtower for a second. This map seems very good for Reapers. Just
Game paused.
oh, gotta pause here. Not sure what the deal is. Alright, well, guess we're good to go. Probably just something going on in his room or something like that, I would assume. No big deal. Reaper's just working on that Nexus. You get him, boy. Adept is gonna come and have something to say about that, though. No micro from the Reaper means he's gonna get killed. Poor Reaper. And just a 1-1-1. Command center back at home for the Terran here. A little oversaturated on one of his gases. There he goes. He's got that taken care of, though. He's very defensive, not even trying to put the CC down on location, but that's probably for the best, because this map is very wide open. Like, look at this natural, just huge amount of space. Hellion and Marines come out to take the Adept. The Adept is going to shade away. Yep.
I think he put the CC on the high ground because it wasn't a gate nexus. So, like, he saw the potential for early aggression and just wanted to play it safe in the event that, like, based on the opening that he scouted.
Yeah. That seems logical. I can follow that. Oracle coming across the map now. This is a very odd map to fly across, because some of the terrain does actually block flight path.
Mm-hmm.
Oracle comes in and just finds 3 SCVs chilling out because of a bad rally. Oh, did that Widowmine kill an Adept when I wasn't looking? Looks like it did. Marines do take out the Oracle, unfortunately, but I believe the Oracle did get 3 SCVs. Yes, it did. Alright, we have a drop, Widowmine and 6 Marines heading out now. Believe that Widowmine will be charged by the time it gets over there. Looks like it. He's taking a very long route.
Right.
And this Marine got left behind. He's like, no, wait for me, guys! I'm coming! I'm going to help! The Phoenix is out, and he's making additional Phoenix. Might be able to find this medevac, but he's not even looking for it. I don't think he has any idea that this is coming. Second Oracle comes in, gets 4 kills, up to 5 now. Has delayed the supply depots a whole bunch as well. The medevac is coming in, though.
Yeah.
It's not. Position.
I think he F2'd. It doesn't look like the drop actually deployed like it was supposed to.
Oh my god.
That is quite
unfortunate.
unfortunate.
It's going to die, actually. Okay, yes it is. Alright, it goes down. And that drop does actually no damage. No probes were killed, no stalkers are killed, nothing. Where did the Widowmine go? Did he just pick it up and kill it?
Yeah, he picked it up immediately with the Phoenix.
Right.
So
wow, excellent play there by Protoss.
And this Banshee will also die to the Phoenix.
Oh my god. Gold base for the Protoss here.
He can. He's gained himself such an economic advantage that Hotfeed just has to mule up. He can't push anytime soon.
Oh, this is cool. Look at over here, Zeno. Oh, I can't ping on the map. Okay. There's two pylons kind of sitting in circles in his main base. That looks so cool. One's a little off center, so it's tilting me, but the other one is perfectly placed. It looks amazing. It looks like that's where pylons go. Clearly. Phoenix and an Oracle come in. Widowmine does not go off. Are you serious? Oh no, that was the lock-on from the Cyclone. Never mind, I'm dumb. Okay, that's what that was. I believe he got, yeah, he's up to 11 SCV kills now. That's really good. Quality play here for us. The Terran really needs to get something done. He doesn't even have his natural saturated at all.
No, he's starting the third. He kind of realized that, like, macro is probably going to be his only way back into this game, as all his harass is being shut down.
Banshee gets shut down super hard.
Yeah.
It doesn't even need to be revealed.
But,
the Banshee took one probe with it.
Well, this is curious. Double Robo. Is this PVZ we're playing?
I mean, honestly, at this point, I feel like our Pros player could just about do anything he wants.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying that is
completely fine.
bad given this circumstance. It's just unusual.
Yeah.
For the matchup, anyhow. Maybe
double
he'll want to hit a Colossus timing, actually.
Well, I think it might be. Well, no, he doesn't have a robotics base.
Right, that was the one
So,
caveat. But like when you play Phoenix heavy, like Colossi are kind of a common follow-up. So maybe he's just not built that yet. I don't know.
Does he still have his Phoenix on the field?
Yeah, he has. They haven't died.
He has 5 of them. Here they are. They're at his. Okay. So all the Stargate units are just sitting at his
forward base.
I don't know that this is super heavy into the Phoenix. It's definitely more than
That's true.
Is typical, but I think that this is a fair amount, especially with how the Terran is doing, like trying to open up with a drop and going into a Banshee. That's perfectly countered by the Protoss there. Third CC is coming down, landing. The observer spots that almost immediately. Whether Kaino actually saw it is yet to be discovered.
Well, it looks like Storm is going to be his AoE of choice.
Yes.
At least for now. Can always get more later.
Yeah, so I guess the robos are just for Immortal production.
Why not?
Yeah,
you know, he's not using the other robo. Maybe
Yeah,
he forgot
I
he
wonder if he built that on accident. Maybe it could just be a mistake.
Anyway.
He has them both hotkeyed.
Okay.
That's very odd. I don't know. Very strange. Honestly, the Terran is coming back a little bit. He hit a pretty bad supply block there just a few minutes ago.
As long as Kaino lands one decent storm, I think he'll be just fine.
Yeah, he's gonna try and push over to this third, but stasis wards and this is not going to end well for our Terran. The beatiest of storms, and that is just a dead Terran army, completely gone, and Protoss players can just push across the map with the greatest of ease at this point. It looks like he's going to...
I asked for one good storm, and he gave us, like, 2. And then had the lifts and everything.
Yeah. Maximum value from that.
I don't even know if he needed a storm. The more I look at his army now.
Yeah, supply is 139 for the Protoss to 78 from the Terran, and he has just been bludgeoned this entire game. Stasis wards are going down, but there's no army to get stasis. Yeah, and the Protoss is, he's just gonna, there's not a whole lot to really say. He's just gonna walk across the map and finish the game, I believe. Missile turret does take out the observer, but I don't really think that matters too much. Oh, beautiful storm. Doesn't quite kill the Widowmine, but... Doesn't really... Oh yeah, he has Phoenix. He can actually target down the command center. I believe that will go down. I am sure that will go down.
Well, he can land once it gets into... Oh, never mind.
Ghost is out, which is interesting. I didn't actually notice the facility go down. He's being very cautious about this. I don't know that I would have been this cautious with how. Oh, that's Stasis Ward. That's pretty good. Gets the ghost. Look at that.
I mean, he's on 5 bases. It's not his. The burden of the game, it does not lie on the Protoss shoulders.
Yeah, at this point, yeah. Terran really needs to make something happen. I am struggling for ideas as to what he can even try, though. He has a non-existent medevac count. He has just a handful of Marines and Marauders, a single Ghost, which is still puzzling to me. I'm not sure what that guy's there for. Or this is actually one of the Nova Ghosts, so it's a girl, so I'm not sure what she's doing there.
There's a difference?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, the Nova skin makes the Ghost female.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that there was a skin for that. Okay.
Yep. And of course, whenever she dies, she screams a lot as well. I mean, it wouldn't be a ghost if they didn't. Terran is actually making 2 command centers, so he's going to try and double expand, which is that's Storm. Oh my god. I believe the Oracle just died to his own Psy Storm. Not that it matters. And this right here is going to be the closer. Look at this unbelievable 6 Immortals come on to the battle, which is already over. GG is called, and Kaino is your victor here. What a brutal match that was, though. Right from the very beginning, the first drop from the Terran getting absolutely nothing done, and then it was just kind of downhill from there with the Oracles coming in, sniping SCVs over and over. Very heartbreaking if you're a Terran, but all Protoss rejoice. I wish all of my games could be that clean. Anyways, I don't actually know what's coming up next. We'll have to get with that in a little bit. Love to talk to Zeno, but he's hard at work trying to get everything set for the next match.
Yeah, next match is going to be Kaiba versus Felon on Parasite.
Okay. I didn't realize that Parasite was still in the map rotation.
It is not. This week is the last week of the old map pool for this league.
Oh, okay. Well, that was one of the new maps, though, that we just had.
No, Stasis is from last season as well.
Oh, was it really?
Indeed.
Are you sure?
Indeed.
All right, I'll take your word for it. I didn't play very much last season, so I didn't memorize all of the maps, and it also could have been one that I had vetoed.
It was one that you had vetoed.
Oh, okay. I love that you know that and I don't.
Isn't that great?
Impressive. Get out of my head, Zeno.
Okay. So this will be a.
Is now in my head. Can you think of a more terrifying concept than that?
Build a cannon.
No, I don't want to. That means that I'm a cheesy cannon rush player. I won't do it. Day 9 says it's cheesy, and I don't want to do it.
So this will be a TVZ.
Okay. I feel bad as a caster not really knowing the Terran perspective very well. Like, I understand what they are trying to accomplish, but the whole process that they used to get there, I have a few gaps. Zerg, I can talk a little bit about.
Sure. I mean, I feel like everyone has their weakest race, regardless of where they're coming from. But even still, I mean, what are you expecting yourself to be, Pig?
Well, even Pig admits that he has a weak race.
That's
can't
true.
Actually remember which one it is.
It's Terran.
I believe it's Terran.
Yeah, it is Terran.
But yeah, and honestly, I feel like that's the case for a lot of people because Terran is just so mechanically intensive compared to some of the other races.
At
Like
least in the at
just
least
the
in the
fact,
foreign scene, I would definitely agree with that.
yeah. Well, I mean, think about it. Zergs and Protoss don't have to build add-ons on all of their buildings, and they don't have to swap add-ons around in the early game like Terrans do. So just that little bit in itself is a lot to deal with. And then you have other factors as well where you have to constantly be going back to your base and dropping mules. You have to constantly make supply depots and then make sure that once the supply depots are done, that your SCVs continue to work. There's a lot of little things that build up. But
1 second. Is chat good with the sound now? Have we dealt with the echo? Okay.
all right. Well, the game is loaded in.
Yep.
Like we said before, Parasite is going to be our map. Between these two players, I got a little bit ahead of myself. And Zeno, since I did the honors last time, I will yield the introductions to you, my good man.
Well, traditionally it's 1 for 1, but
all right, well, third game will do that.
all right, sounds good.
Fair and even.
Sounds good. Spawning in the upper left as the yellow Zerg, representing AlphaX, it is Kaiboy. And his opponent to the bottom right, in the red trunks, it is the Terran Felon.
Representing HØST. Do we actually know what HØST stands for by any chance? It's not super important.
It just says host competitive.
Oh, alright then.
So that might not stand for anything.
Interesting. Yep, typical 17 hatch from the Zerg. I love that he's sporting the
Mech
very
Zerg.
spiky edition of the Zerg with the mech buildings. That doesn't bother me at all. Nope. The Terran unfortunately doesn't have any skins, but that's okay. We won't hold it against him. Gas first was the order of business for the Terran into racks. I'm assuming into CC after that. Could be for a fast factory. Hatch gas pool from the Zerg. Very, very standard. All of the timings. And we'll just have to kind of wait and see, let things develop. I like the Overlord scouting path by the Zerg, making sure that there aren't any cheeky barracks placed out on the middle of the map.
Yeah, Kaiboy generally has been a standard macro Zerg from what I've seen, but I haven't seen a whole lot of him recently, so...
Okay.
I'm not sure how relevant my data on him is. As for Felon, I have never seen him play, so...
Yeah, here, Reaper is coming out, is banking up gas as the Terran, so I believe yep, there goes the factory right there. Could be to get out some fast Hellions in the early game. He might be trying to do something to do with the battle mech style, featuring the Hellions and like a couple of Cyclones. Typically does very well. I know whenever I play Zerg, battle mech usually does really well against me. Is very, very strong. Reaper's coming in here, gets a Zergling kill.
Another possibility due to the patch is actually like speed rush to battle cruisers.
Oh yes, yeah. I'd forgotten all about that actually.
And with the starport going down, it could be Hellions into
Yeah,
into
it's definitely
battlecruiser.
going to be Hellions here. He's swapping it over onto the reactor. He's double pumping those boys. It will be interesting to see if he does go for the battlecruiser. I really love the way the new battlecruiser operates. It is so entertaining to watch.
Yeah, it's
Roach Warren after third. So
I think the normal iterations of mech are still slightly more common, and I don't know what all the telltale signs are. He's gonna start off with a Liberator, and I mean this doesn't even have to be mech, technically speaking. A 1/1/1 can just as easily default into standard bio with like a Hellion opener.
Yeah, and it does look like it is going to be that bio play because he's getting stim right now. So
yeah.
Probably not going to see any battle cruisers this game. Unfortunate. But it's pretty good for our Zerg player who is going for roaches, and he is getting a few of those even as we speak. Oh, here come the Hellions and the Reaper. They just get shooed away by a couple of roaches. Roaches, of course, very good against Hellions. A couple of queens are going on an adventure. I believe that they are... I'm not sure where they're going, actually. This could be a very aggressive play right here, actually.
Yeah, this is like borderline all in. Because
This is a lot of roaches, and those queens are still coming. Oh, well, no, the queens have stopped in the middle of the map, so it's not as committed as I thought it was going to be, but it is still a big commitment. Lots of units going across the map. And there's not a lot at home. 3 Marines, a bunker going up. This game could end very quickly. Liberator is coming out, so that could put an end to it. Roaches are kind of lingering though. There's not. I think it was just a pressure build.
Yeah.
Or a pressure opener.
Well, he's lost 8 drones at his third, which is also why he kind of pulled back. The
Liberator came and set up.
No, the Hellions outmaneuvered the roaches.
Oh, okay, very nice. I totally missed that. I was just looking at the front where all the Zerglings were standing. Liberator does set up at... what is this? Mule? Look at that! He's repairing the Liberator! What a baller! That Lib's not going to get a whole lot done just kind of sitting where it is right now. It's going to be a while before drones show up at that base.
There's a Lib on the other side, though.
Yeah, the Queen is going to have something to say about this Liberator, but unless he gets that other Queen in on this Lib's going to kill the Queen, which it does. Other Liberator is coming around. It looks like it is shift queued to siege up on this third base. Don't forget to send those drones back to work, buddy. Yeah, there you go. Well done. Alright, other Liberator comes on in. This is good harass by our Terran player.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the Queen is going to get killed. Another... Oh, no! He unsieged too fast! One more shot! Oh, that's too bad. That's too bad. One Zergling nibbling on this command center for our Terran at his third.
More drones falling to this Lib, but it gets cleaned up by the Queen.
No. I think the Lib harass is kind of expired. I don't think he's going to be able to get a whole lot more value out of that.
No, and he's not invested into any more Libs either.
Yeah. Overlord placement is sublime. Just they are great spots, all of them.
Oh yeah, if this map were still in the pool, I would steal this for my observers.
Except for that Overlord, that guy got too close to the sun, and the Marines fried him. Looks like it's going to just go into very normal bio tag play. On the flip side of things, Roach Hydra, maybe is he dropped a Baneling Nest? I don't see it. Yeah, so I'm thinking it's just going to be Roach Hydra from the Zerg. Okay, creep spread, not too bad. He has a lot of active tumors. He's not really spreading them very far and fast, but that's okay. Can't be too critical. Is going to be Lingbane Hydra, it looks like. He has the Bane Nest down. Yeah, so we're just kind of waiting for these players to make a move. Both of them are just kind of building up.
Well,
Like
fourth is
the
almost
Terran-
done for the Terran, so
Yeah. If he
There-
intends to take the base over here, though, his command center that he's building is very far away from that base. That thing is going to have to fly for quite a ways.
why does he have to? He can just go to the top. Oh,
Yeah, but
that doesn't. I guess he's not going to.
He seems very.
That was kind of
committed to-
curious.
Yeah.
Building it on.
Oh, this single Zergling is going to scout the worker transfer. He's just going to nibble on each of them a little bit, it looks like. Marines are like, get off of our workers. Leave them alone. Yeah, well.
I would have
supplies
thought
are-
like you build it at the to choke up the path to the natural or something if you're gonna.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know. Very, very different. Zerg is now taking his 5th base as well. Has Hive Tech, has Ultras, chitinous plating. The new upgrade is available in this patch, the anabolic synthesis. I am a
Oh.
huge fan of this upgrade. I have yet to actually use it, but I have started it. Oh man, the Zerg is just doing Zerg things too, plopping hatcheries all over the place. The supplies are almost dead even for these two players. Both of them really just building up, kind of just deciding when they're actually going to pull the trigger, which I believe the Terran is preparing a doom drop of some sort, or maybe he did that on accident, or at the very least he's changed his mind. He has tanks loaded up into the medevacs. I've seen pros do this, but it's basically to hide how many tanks you actually have.
Mhm.
But I don't know that in this stage of the game that really matters, because the Zerg is going to expect you to have a lot of siege tanks. But he is going to siege up on this 5th base. And it looks like it's going to go down without much of a fight from the Zerg. Oh my god, look at this army. Ultras, Infestors, Lings, Banes, engaging very haphazardly. Extra Lings are coming down from the north. The siege tanks are going to obliterate those Ultras. Infestor just gets swamped, and that was a very bad trade by our Zerg player.
Yeah,
He is now down in supply by quite a large margin.
I don't know about that attack, cause like, or that attempt to clean up the attack, I should say.
Yeah,
Because
that
like
is...
Terran already did the damage. He already sniped the base. So why do you
Yeah.
run up a ramp into a choke?
with
when-
siege tanks
Yeah,
already. as
five
well,
siege
yeah,
tanks
very-
there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I understand wanting to clear out the
Right.
Terran army, but not but like you wait for them to unsiege and then collapse in on
Yeah.
them. There's a maxed out Terran army with 14. Am I looking at this right? Is that 12, 14 tanks?
It is a lot.
Yes. Some people would say this man is addicted. Others would say this man is a genius and he is going to splash the Zerg to Kingdom Come. And I don't know that the Zerg can really stop this. He has a lot of Infestors and a lot of Lings and Banes and Ultras, but I don't actually know...
I feel like Vipers would have been better
Oh,
than.
yeah. Than Infestors, for
Yeah.
sure, yeah. Look at that Ultra's health. Look at that! Oh, but this is a pretty good engage. The Fungal is on everything. Ultras get right up and personal on the Marines. But there's a lot of Terran behind. Liberator comes and sets up as well.
Yeah, it wasn't a terrible engage. I just don't know if it was enough.
No. You definitely don't want infestors in this army, I don't think. I like the idea, but the banelings kind of serve the same purpose for helping get rid of the marines here. That is another dead hatchery, but the thing is the Zerg is still in an okay spot because he has so many hatcheries. The Terra is just running around trying to put out fires. Oh, this is, well, there's so many siege tanks, the Lings can't actually even get on the siege tanks. He is going to clean up a few of them.
Okay.
Putting in more Hydras, so that's
Yeah.
good.
The Hydras are getting rid of the air support pretty well, and...
Yeah.
Game paused.
Whoop.
Okay. I guess,
I believe our Terran probably lost quite a bit of his army due to that lag, if that is indeed what happened.
yeah.
Okay, well that's unfortunate, but I think he's still in a perfectly okay spot.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Base established, it looks like his 6th is flying out to location, planetary down. Still testing the lag to see how he's doing. Looks like he's doing alright. Zergling's in his 3rd base though. SCVs are fighting against cracklings. That is not what you want. Woof. Brutal. There's a lot of SCV deaths right there. Actually perfectly even on worker losses on both sides. Both at 22. Very interesting. And we are officially in the late game. Zerg is now maxed out. Terran up to 139.
Terran was maxed.
Yeah.
But, gonna add on 3 more factories. And, I mean...
upgrading his mech and his bio, all 4 upgrades, armor and attack.
Well, if you have the money, spend it.
Yeah, you don't see that every day, but very, very interesting. I believe that before the Zerg actually pushes in anywhere, the Terran will be maxed again, though. He's still kind of roaming around and sharking, looking for places to attack. Empty planetary is found, and I don't think this is long for his world. Rand Queen finds a Liberator as well. I believe the Ultra will kill this planetary before the planetary kills it, but it's gonna take a little while. No reaction from the Terran, really, except to siege up on this choke point. And that's a dead planetary. Not a whole lot he could have done, to be honest. I would love to see a few more Hydras. Like, Lingbane Ultra is really good, don't get me wrong. But Hydras are kind of the meaty, damagey part of this unit set, and there's not very many. He's kind of decided to go for infestors instead. Another planetary is going to bite the dust. Oh, Baneling's exploding on the planetary for no reason. That's not very efficient, but it doesn't really matter. So long as he makes more Banelings.
Yeah. It's kind of like... I mean, in this case, he didn't need to.
The top left or the top right.
It was queued before he saw there was a hatch there, and he saw the hatch with his Liberator. He just said, "Oh, it will land and crush the hatchery."
Unfortunately, that is not how this game works. Even though I believe that should be a thing, that would be hilarious.
Oh, okay.
If buildings could just land on things and crush them.
Then Terran would be very OP.
It would be. You'd probably have to nerf the health of their buildings a little bit, but
I mean, they would just float their command center and crush your
big doom drop coming into the main base of the Zerg here. He is reacting. Only Lings have arrived so far. The rest of the
there's enough.
Yeah,
and the Corruptors are gonna.
Corruptors are going to take out 2 of the medevacs. 3 of the medevacs go down.
Nah, there's no escape.
Oh, that is not a good drop. Unfortunate for the Terran there. The Zerg has kind of rounded out his composition perfectly.
At this point,
big engagement in the middle of the map. Unsieged tanks versus Zerglings. A nuke is being called. I didn't know there were ghosts. Okay, the nuke is coming down. It is going to land. I think it's going to kill 1 Ultra. Yes, 1 nuke for 1 Ultra. That seems appropriate, however. The remainder of the army, though, the Ultras and the Corruptors are sharking around looking for more of the Terran army. And unfortunately, Heflin just cannot figure out how to end this game.
I don't think he can anymore. I think at this point, Zerg has taken too much map control, and there is no way that, or nowhere that he can really make a sizable push anymore.
Wow,
Like, he's on 4 bases, but we're at the 18-minute mark. He was supposed to be on 5 or 6 bases. And
well, he does have 5, but unfortunately one of them isn't mining. One of them is very oversaturated, and 2 of them are completely dry.
Right.
And his fourth is running low on minerals as well. He really needs to establish another base. Honestly, the Zerg does not have to engage. Oh my goodness, wait. Where did those broodlings come from? Are there broodlords? There are 2 broodlords. Is getting sniped. That's very good. The 2 ghosts. Unfortunately, I do not believe it is going to be enough when all is said and done. There's just so much Zerg. Siege tanks are worth their weight in gold behind these supply depots, though. But the Zerg is going to spill through and is going to start taking out this base. The 2 siege tanks back here. The Sim City actually is really well designed by the Terran.
Yeah.
Infested Terrans popping out right next to the siege tanks. Those are going to evaporate. Marines pushing into free units and an Ultra. That's not a good idea. Oh my goodness, look at the infested Terrans go. Purple go! Purple go! Destroy the factories! Oh my goodness, they're actually going to get that factory before they all die. Wow. Oh, he does have a couple of cool skins. He has the very fancy Vikings. Those are going to do very well against the Broodlords. I don't know how many Corruptors does our Zerg still have, though. 8. He has 8 left, which is... I don't actually know how Corruptors fare against Vikings. I don't see that matchup very often. It might not actually matter, though. There is just so many Ultras.
Yeah, I don't really see it as, like, whether the Corruptor count can kill the Vikings as much as it is that they just need to zone out the Vikings from getting on top of the Broodlords.
Yeah, that's probably true. Are there Broodlords left, though? I think they got killed.
I don't think there are.
No, I think the Broodlords are done for right now. The Zerg is just rotating around and has...
Okay, there's a lane opened up for Felon to push this base up here at the 9 o'clock position. But there are enough spine crawlers.
I mean, 3-3 Bio will be able to eat through that very quickly. The Zerg is going to want to respond to this, I think.
He might sack this just so that he can get a better engage.
Well, I think what he's going to do is he's going to engage again before everything unsieges. Yeah, he's just moving, he's headbutting into the Terran army.
Well, he has so much, what does it matter?
Look at this concave, though. And that is all they wrote for the Terrans. Good lord. The Zerg is now up by about 30 supply. Oh my goodness, these SCVs. Oh! The Baneling hit. 12 SCVs go down instantly. 29 have gone down now at this planetary, and that goes down as well. The Terran has nothing left. He has 1 mining base that has got 2 patches already depleted. And that is all he has for mining.
Yeah, dire straits for Felon.
He is running on fumes here. The Zerg is just going to remax again and just pummel him. And look at this creep spread. It's actually covering everything. Yeah. I'm quite certain that Kaiboy has this game now, because the
Oh
Terran just
yeah.
cannot establish another base. He's floating
I
his
mean,
main over
Zerg
to
is
his
mining on the
initial
Terran
third.
side of the map.
Yeah. Look
That's
at
how
this.
much control he
main,
has.
His main base is floating down to his third, but there are Zerg waiting for it to land, and just look at this thing evaporate the Baneling. Bloop! It's gone. And the Zerg pulls back and makes more lings, and I'm assuming Banes to follow up.
Is this instant delete button.
He is floating another command center over to this base, but it's already been mined from a little bit by the Zerg, I believe. Or was this his base before? He needs to reposition that again.
It was his base before. It died.
Oh my goodness! Look at this! I didn't actually realize that this is how this worked. Oh, Broodlords. 2 Broodlords are sieging again. The third one is coming out. Vikings are going to shut this down, though, it looks like, while the command center gets evaporated in the bottom left corner. And the Lings are pushing in, Ultras are coming, Banes are behind, and there is just nothing that can stop this Zerg army. But look at this command center before it dies really quick. You see how many slots it has open for the SCVs?
Yeah.
I believe that is a result of the change to the structure, because the bunker is upgraded so it is able to hold more, and I believe it also affects the command center, so that's very interesting thing to see.
I forget what upgrade it is, but that happens. Creep is on the Terran's third. He can't land.
Yeah, and it's pushing into his, what was initially his 5th, but is now his only mining base, which is completely dried out, and he is just choked out of this game. Kaiboy is your victor.
What a game.
What an unfortunately slow death for the Terran as well. Like, that's gotta be demoralizing to just be choked out of a game instead of, you know, wiped out.
Okay, 1 second. I need to figure out what's going on with the.
And I believe that puts us at 2-0 in favor of AlphaX. Yeah. Host needs to claw one back in the next series, or it's going to be all over. I believe they have it in them. I believe that we can make this a full series.
Hang on. I need to figure out what's going on with something else at the moment.
Alrighty then. Oh, one thing I didn't talk about in that game that I'll bring up now is he did, in fact, get the Ultra Speed upgrade, which was very helpful in allowing him to run back and forth across the map, sniping off the Terran's command centers that were all over the place. It's very cool to see Ultras running so fast. They almost keep up with Lings and Banes, which is just so sick. It is unfortunate that the Terran wasn't able to get into more Ghost production, because he was getting Ghost, but he just couldn't ever get enough breathing room where he could solidify that count and really push back those Ultras, which were, I mean, paired with the Banelings, kind of what just choked him out. Still also very impressive how many tanks he had in the mid game. I believe it was 14. You just do not see that amount of siege tanks every day. Very terrifying. I play a lot of Protoss, and that would be terrifying for me to see that many siege tanks. I'm trying my best, Xeno, but I'm running out of topics here. Oh, one thing that you guys may or may not be aware of that I learned recently Did you guys know that there are actual banelings in real life? We're talking about in the world in which you and I live, there are termites that can, in their old age, grow acid sacs on their backs. And I apologize in advance if anybody is disgusted by this, but I thought it was fascinating. But what they do is they will actually run at any kind of aggressor, and they will defend the hive by blowing themselves up on intruders. So banelings actually are a real thing. I don't know if that's where Blizzard got the idea for the baneling, but it seems very coincidental if that wasn't the case.
I'm sure we'll find another StarCraft unit in real life at some point in the future.
Well, zealots are real.
Oh, how so?
Yeah, in the Crusades.
Okay.
There were a ton of zealots. Granted, they probably weren't able to increase their speed by upgrading their legs, but nonetheless, there are real.
I mean,
zealots.
that's what a horseman is, right?
I don't think it has to be a horseman, but that
I mean the
it
speed
would definitely help with the charging. Yeah.
Yes.
Marines are real. Think about that.
Yes, that's true. A marine is real.
Siege tanks aren't necessarily a real thing, but there are tanks that can fire absurdly far in real life.
Sure.
They're not called siege tanks, but they're just regular tanks. But tanks can fire an absurdly long distance and do a lot of damage. I really wish that Vikings were a real thing. I would become a military pilot in an instant if I had a mech suit that could walk on land with giant rotating guns, but that could also fly like a jet. I would sign up in an instant. I would get turned down because my vision is horrible, but I would still do it. And it is possible that one day we'll have not necessarily a battle cruiser per se, but a large spaceship that allows us to travel to different planets. I think that would be cool. I don't know that it'll happen in my lifetime or even my kid's lifetime, but with all of the things that SpaceX are doing these days, it's quite amazing.
Yeah.
Have you actually followed that at all?
1 second. I need a.
Okay. But for those of you in chat that aren't familiar with this, there's a company called SpaceX, and they have developed a rocket that has two components basically. It has the top half, which will carry the payload, and they work as a commercial company. So if say Verizon or a cellular company of some sort wanted to put a satellite in orbit, they could contract SpaceX to put this on the top of their rocket engine and launch it into space. And how it works is the whole rocket goes up, and the first stage will actually launch off after it's kind of cleared Earth's gravity to the point where it can get into orbit. And then the second stage of the rocket will actually turn around and return to Earth. And they have actually performed several landings successfully of this engine. So I don't know how many of you watched cartoons whenever you were growing up that featured rockets, but you always would see the rockets basically landing the same way that they took off. That is actually now a real thing. And it goes even further than that. if you guys are familiar with space to a certain degree, you'll know that when a ship a craft comes back to Earth, it'll hit the atmosphere, and because of all of the friction, an enormous amount of heat will begin to build up. And so, because of that, like the Apollo capsules and the space shuttle had to have really sophisticated heat shields that had special material. And even that special material on the space shuttle would burn off of the craft upon reentry. However, with this rocket, as it comes down, the exhaust from the engine itself actually creates a heat shield in a way. And because of that, they do not have, like, they still have a heat shield on certain components of the craft, but it doesn't have to be nearly as um, sophisticated, and it doesn't have to be nearly as tough, because the majority of that of the plume, or of the majority of the heat, is being diverted around the outside of the craft by the plume coming out of the engine as it returns. The whole thing is quite fascinating. If you have the time and the interest, I very much recommend looking into it. There are some amazing articles online that talk about all of the science behind it. And if you're a nerd like me, this kind of stuff just grabs your attention and will not let. How we looking there, Zeno? I'm probably dropping our viewership by discussing all of the things that I find interesting, because most people do not find what I say very interesting.
I would definitely find it interesting myself. However, I am trying to manage two different things at the same time, because I expected someone to be here that I don't know who that was supposed to be, but I expected someone to be here besides. But I think we're fine.
Besides just the two of us.
Yes, besides just the two of us.
Maybe we could get somebody in here that's actually interesting. Am I right, guys?
Oh my. To whom are you slighting?
Myself, mostly.
Mostly.
I mean, I'm sure, like, you're a very interesting person whenever you're actually able to talk, but I understand whenever you're working, it's hard to discuss and think at the same time. Okay, guys, it does look like we are going to be getting in-game now. Sorry about the delay.
Yeah, I think they were waiting on someone, which was convenient for me since I was running back and forth.
Alright.
So
a TVP on Cerulean Fall. I have said that wrong so many times, but I've got it right this time. We are improving, and really that's what StarCraft is. It's a slow process that forces you to improve as a human being. Alright, Zeno. I will start, I suppose.
yes,
In
very good.
the top right corner of the map, playing as the blue Terran, representing AlphaX, it is Rebel! Again, going for a gas first.
And to the bottom left, as the red Protoss, representing HØST, it is Levetal. Yeah.
Alright. So far, very standard openings by both. Look at this. Sending out the SCV early. Oh, I thought he was going to grab the probe. Apparently he's not interested in that. That's just the scouting SCV. I had so much to talk about there, because I thought that was really cool, because most Protosses, they send that first probe over, what do? They molest the SCV that's building the barracks. Because why wouldn't you, am I right? If the barracks is actually there in their main base, why not screw with them a little? Because we're a Protoss player, we're having fun, at your expense.
Well, it is important to see the gas timing, and maybe with the SCV tailing him, he didn't want to bother on his return trip out.
Yeah.
The gas timing is actually
has...
more critical than
yeah,
a couple extra shots.
Yeah. The probe is decided to go home a little early, but that's probably okay, especially if you're like me and you have low APM. Command center's going down. Factory is now going down. Let's see. What is... Yeah, and he is dropping the reactor there. Wonder if he'll try and go for Hellions. That'd be interesting. I haven't seen Hellions versus Protoss in quite a while. Probably just Marines and getting a tank, though, if I had to guess. Adept is coming out. Is going to start working on this Reaper. And he gets the second shot off, but the Reaper is going to escape. The Adept is way too slow. Is going to try and shade after it, but I do not believe he'll be able to catch it. No. No, indeed. Stargate is going down. Stalkers are coming out. Nexus is completed. He has still got probes rallied to his main base, though, which is not ideal. Think he figured it out. Yeah, there he goes. Alright. Adept has come across the map and is harassing. It is going to be Hellions. Look at that. Is getting that mule. Recall goes down, and it gets away.
Wow.
Amazing. 6 HP on that Adept, and it gets out. Absolutely insane. Oh, he canceled that,
He canceled the gate and rebuilt it. I think he didn't want his probe trapped.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay. I thought he was worried about the unit that was coming out of his gate getting trapped. But, anyways, is going for Oracle. Has 2 Stalkers at the front. Throwing down 2 pylons at the front as well. Interesting.
It could have been either.
Yeah.
No, there must be an escape path for his unit because of his,
Oh, Hellions are running
I
by.
have no
One
idea.
dies immediately. Probes have been pulled off the line. I think that's kind of what the Hellion player wants, however. Only 1 probe has gone down, though. Very good by the Protoss player there. Able to take minimal damage from that. 1 probe and lost fighting time for 4 Hellions. I'll take that any day. Cyclone is out on the map, so it should be able to shut down this Oracle almost immediately, especially now with that armored tag. Oh wait, no, the Cyclone doesn't actually do bonus damage to armor anymore, does it? Anyways, it will take out that Oracle very quickly regardless. Gets the Revelation off before it goes down. Unfortunately, it's not on anything very important. Does see, I guess, the extra barracks, but that's not really out of the ordinary. I wonder if he saw the Cloaked Banshee that was coming out for our Terran here. He also is starting up siege tank production and just very standard things. Throwing down his 3rd CC. 3rd Nexus is on location about halfway done. Phoenix are out, but is there any detection at all? There's only Phoenix queued up. The Oracle is dead. I do not believe that there is another one in the game. No, there is no detection whatsoever.
Ruh-roh.
This Banshee is going to do incredible damage whenever it gets here. There it is. Oh, first shot goes onto a probe that jumps in gas. Unfortunate there, but no detection whatsoever, and
there's some counterattack on the other side of the map, but
yes.
I don't see this.
Siege tank is going to put an end to that, though.
Yeah.
No, not worth it there. Does get up to, he does get 2 SCV kills, but up to 10 from that Banshee. This is just absolutely brutal. He does have a 2nd Stargate, which is interesting to do against Terran. The energy has run out on that Banshee, so it will finally go down, but not after getting a total of 12 kills unbelievably good damage there. And the Protoss player is in pretty rough times right now after that. And the army for the Terran is looking very mighty as well. 2 siege tanks already, Cyclone out, Marines and Marauders. He's now getting medevac support. This is going to be a very good 1-1 push by the Terran, I'm imagining. Third command center is done, floating to location. Just expert play by our Terran player here. Protoss battle really needs to try and make something happen. I'm interested to see what he's going to try and get done with all of these Phoenix that he's building. I'm not.
The second Stargate is definitely unusual.
Yeah, I'm not extremely familiar with what he is trying to do here.
I don't think I like it. Like, he's very tech heavy, has no AoE and no gateways. So like you need like either mass gateway or AoE. You cannot have this.
Yeah, and
especially when you're playing from behind.
Yeah, and I've tried the double Stargate Phoenix thing against Terran in the past. I mean, have never really had any results.
Yeah, I think there is a world in which that works, in which you like have air superiority quickly, in which you don't take such heavy economic damage.
That single Marine comes in and kills a probe.
Oh
throws
man.
Down the Manor scan, I suppose.
Maybe he just wasn't watching to see what killed the Marine, and I don't know. There's actually no pylons at this base.
Yeah, this is. I don't think this is a good spot for the Protoss at all.
Oh
the
no.
Terran is coming across the map. 1-1 is done. Medevacs are here. Marines, Marauders, tanks, Cyclones, Widow Mines, stimming in. And I do not believe that the Protoss will be able to do anything against this. He might be able to lift the tanks, but there's still so much bio. Look at this awkward angle that he's coming in as well, and the Terran is just going to turn around and collapse in the choke. Phoenix are going down. The siege tanks have been picked off, but there's just so much bio left.
Yeah.
Protoss has 5 stalkers and an adept. There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. That's it. The Terran, AlphaX Rebel, closes the game out in a very decisive 3-0 overall for AlphaX.
Right.
Very, very brutal.
Well, I'm going to end the stream as we have taken a 3-0, and GG's to everyone involved.
And we appreciate you listening to me babble whilst we were trying to get that last game going. Eventually, we'll get the whole scene straightened out a little better, but